and I am here to notify you on behalf of Mr. Downing that if you continue to pay public officials to break the laws, criminal sanctions can and will come from this. Officials must be... Hello, my name is Corey Dunn. I'm from Hanover Township. I hold in my hand a federal case that I filed against Luzerne County Children and Youth and Luzerne County themselves due to federal civil rights violation, a Manelli claim, and RICO Act addendum that was just recently added. I'm here to provide notice to council. I am Corey Dunn. I am a civil rights advocate here in Luzerne County in accordance with USCS rules of civil procedures as well as Rule 17 and Rule 20 of the United States Supreme Court. The Constitution of the United States has the overreaching requirements that every state must follow. States cannot enact their own alternative legislation substituted for the guarantees of the Constitution of the United States. That would mean that state laws are more powerful than the Constitution, and that is unlawful. Clause 1 of Amendment 5 states, "No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment by grand jury." However, the state of Pennsylvania has enacted its own alternative legislation that permits prosecuting attorneys and police officers to charge by way of information as opposed to an indictment. That is unconstitutional. An emolument violation is when you pay a public official to break the law. The Constitution has two areas that enforces this. Article 1, Section 10 says, "No state shall create any law that shall impair the obligation of contract. Police officers, prosecutors, judges, children and youth agents are all under a contract to perform based on the oath or affirmation that they took to support and defend the Constitution. Contract parameters are defined within the Constitution of the United States, and when a state makes an inferior law that directs their agents to disobey the Constitution of the United States, that is a violation of Article 1, Section 10. Also, this is reinforced in the 14th Amendment. You will find issue of that no state shall create and enforce any law that shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the United States citizens. The privileges and immunities of the United States citizens are, at a minimum, the most enamored within the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments. Unfortunately, the state of Pennsylvania has enacted a law in its inferior constitution that permits public officials, judges, law enforcement officers, to whom you all pay to violate the Constitution of the United States. As a result, there is an inordinate amount of people currently imprisoned in the state of Pennsylvania illegally and unconstitutionally. One Mr. Tanawa Downing is legislating this issue in the United States Supreme Court, and I am here to notify you on behalf of Mr. Downing that if you continue to pay public officials to break the laws, criminal sanctions can and will come from this. Officials must be made aware that paying people to disobey the law is an emolument violation. It is illegal.
Dunn. Thank you. Your time's up.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Zola.